Radio Newcastle.
And this is Total Sport on BBC Radio Newcastle. And I was going to read a couple of messages out. I think we'll go straight back to the phones. That's what we should do. The Mackem Cabbie has given us a call and is on the line now. So let's speak to him or her. Good evening, Mackem Cabbie.
Yeah, good evening. Born and bred in Sunderland, but now live near Carlisle. Very happy driving me taxi.
Good stuff. What's on your mind?
Absolutely. Yeah, well, first of all, I just wanted to apologise for Marco. We're back in the 80s, the Walker Park days, the Steve Smelt days. I always remember Marco getting off the bus or coming out of his car, and we were standing waiting to get his autographs. I always remember the players, they all had these like Sale of the Century suits on back in the late 80s. Mm-hmm. And I got Marco's autograph, and then I sneakily went further down the line to get it again, and Marco gave me this really hacky look and then got me pen and then just chucked it right across the ground in disgust. So I just wanted to apologise for that, basically.
Well, I think he should apologise to you by the sounds of it.
Yeah, well, I was being a cheeky little so-and-so then, I think.
Bearing in mind, there was quite a lot of people there, and we used to have to, if we were late, we used to get fined. So we had to get in time, and we used to give a bit up. I very much doubt I threw your pen away.
Disgraceful behaviour.
Yeah,
I can believe you did.
I deny that accusation.
You can visualise
but I might have given you your pen back, but
it was more of
it was so that I just wanted to make sure everybody got an autograph who deserved one.
I can visualise that actually, Marco.
Have you still got it?
I haven't, I'm not very good at keeping things, but he didn't throw it. I was exaggerating. It was more like a friendly drop on the floor. That's what it was.
A friendly drop on the floor. Fair enough. What else is on your mind then?
Yeah, basically, everybody's saying, it's been a poor season compared to last season, and me included, had me ranting and raving, and that, like, we've not done as well, and we've had a bad run of form and that. And then now the dust settled and we've like consolidated ourselves within the Championship. I'm thinking, you know what? Is it really, really that bad? Because I didn't really think it is. Yes, we haven't beaten last season's where I thought we overachieved, but considering where we were when we were in League One and we were stuck in League One, and it was dire moments, wasn't it? And we're well established we've established ourselves again in the Championship. And to be honest with you, I think we should just be grateful at the moment where we are. We're still in the Championship, and we're years ahead where we were in League One. So I just think that it hasn't really been all that bad, has it? To be quite honest with you, we can relax with 3 games to go. We're once again, we're still a Championship side.
I think that's one way of looking at it. I think a lot of Sunderland fans would maybe disagree with you that they want to see progress and keep moving forward, and that those years in League One were an aberration and shouldn't have happened. I think getting into that division is fairly easy. Getting out of it is really difficult because we've seen so many big clubs, Leeds United and gosh, I can't even remember Ipswich. There's been some big clubs down there for years and years, and took them time to get out. So, okay, so we got through that, and we got out of the division, and fair play to the current regime for helping us do that. But I do think there is sort of I think the fans feel there should be a bit of a commitment from the owners to help push the progress of the club, and definitely last season, we were in such a good position. Would it have been remiss to do that in January? Take a bit of a risk? Now, look, I'm also loath as well to sort of just say that an owner should put his hand in his pocket. That isn't always easy to do.
The case, is it?
We have so many different types of owner now. Yeah. It's so. But look, I think this year the issue has been, I think the worst part of the season was obviously losing those 6 games on the bounce, and I think that's upset a lot of people. It came at the timing of it was really bad after losing to our local rivals, and losing 2 managers in a short space of time as well. So it's been a little bit fraught and a little bit Sunderland, in fact,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could tell the team spirit was not there when Mowbray went, and then Dodds came in, and then Beale went. Beale came in, then Beale went. It's going to cause an upset in the dressing room, isn't it?
We were missing. Yeah, we were missing key players through injury as well. Through that as well, on top of all that.
I mean, Matty, what do you think in terms of the way that, I guess, general opinion can change quite quickly, can't it? I mean, you've been reporting on football long enough to see that. And I mean, people were absolutely furious, probably rightly so, with the recent run of results, and prior to that, everything that went on off the pitch as well, the whole Black Cat Spa thing back in January and what have you. But it doesn't take much for people to kind of, even the most recent run of results and clean sheets and beating West Brom at the weekend, people are starting, to be much more positive again, almost instantly.
Yeah, I think the pendulum can swing quite quickly, can't it? I mean, it is important to have a balanced sort of view, I think, looking at it. I think, obviously, the comments there about it hasn't been a bad season. No, it hasn't, but there have been poor results in there that, Sunderland shouldn't be getting beat 5-1 at home by Blackburn Rovers. I mean, it was the performance that day that's let them down. I think if you sort of bring things to what we spoke about at the start of the show, is there feels like there's a real sort of lack of direction at the moment. I think just given the sort of chopping and changing between managers, that certainly won't have done the club any favours, even within the dressing room. As much as they'd like to maybe play that down and say, look, we've not much has changed, hasn't been much uprooted behind the scenes. I think obviously it will. I mean, you've got people coming in with different ideas. What I will say is I do think Mike Dodds is actually he's had to put up with a lot in the past couple of weeks. He spoke about not wanting to be in that position. Obviously, it's something he wants to do in the future. But I think in the sort of past sort of couple of press conferences he's had, he's actually spoke really well. And I feel like he's sort of weathered quite a lot of the storm himself.
So he deserves credit for that.
But it sort of comes back to, this is what the crux of it is, I think, from Sunderland supporters' point of view, is to go from where they were at the start of the year, obviously under Tony Mowbray, where they felt like a real direction, they had an identity on the pitch, to then Michael Beale coming in, and it felt like that identity had sort of been sapped away. They speak about alignment, but it hasn't felt like the club's always been aligned with the managerial appointments. And I think what's important this summer is that obviously the head coach is that they get some sort of alignment and sort of true sort of clarity of what they want to do, and they need to put that across to supporters. I think supporters would be a lot more understanding if they come out and said, this is why we're doing it, this is why we've done it. Then you'd be a bit more understanding, and you could see it. And I'm not telling them, this is why I've made this substitution. Not everything needs to be explained, but just sort of say which direction you want to take the club in. Yeah,
a bit more communication. Mackem Cabbie, anything else you'd like to share as well? Or?
Yeah, I just want to say basically it has been mentioned a few times. I think this is going to be a massive testing time this summer for KLD and Co. I think it's going to be a massive testing time. It's like, hopefully the owners have listened and they've learned like that the model at the moment isn't quite working. How many times have I heard Marco and Bennett and Barnsley saying we need an experienced striker? There's going to be a lot of Sunderland fans, eyes wide open, ears pricked back, keeping an eye out what's going on this summer, because I think it's the clock's ticking. I think for KLD, with the fans to lose patience, like they've got to get it right this summer. They have to.
Thank you for coming on. You've probably got a fare waiting, have you?
No. I finished. I just do Monday to Friday, and me 8 till 6 o'clock sort of thing.
Okay.
And
clocked off for the evening.
Aye, no bother. And I've got loads of pens there if I ever see Marco again. All right.
Right. Fair enough. Well, it's all about selfies now, isn't it, rather than autographs? So if you ever see him,
thanks a lot, lad. Thanks a lot, lad.
Pop up with your camera,
cheers,
your phone, and
thank you.
Get a shot of him. Thank you, Mackem Cabbie, who's over in Cumbria these days. Thanks for your call. 0800 234 655.